Right, ladies and gentlemen, obviously Welch Films Limited is looking for new and exciting talent when it comes to making a new thriller film on a very, 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 very small budget. And so we're looking to hear your ideas that you come up with and see if we can give you the commission on this occasion. So if you could perhaps start by giving us a kind of the title and the overview of your film idea.
The title is Crimson Requiem. The whole story is based on following a serial killer up until they're caught. We'd like to break conventions by using shots to make it look like it's from a serial killer's perspective. We would then build up their obsession with the person to where it becomes cold-blooded murder. We would like to show the audience how the serial killer became this person by using flashbacks to key parts of their story. The film then splits between the serial killer and the girl wrongly arrested, who is then released and tries to identify who the actual serial killer is for her misjustice.
Okay, so as you said, you're trying to break convention by showing it from the perspective of the serial killer. In terms of the genre and who you think it will appeal to?
It's a psychological thriller that can play on people's mind about how people can find out online everything that's about you, and that you can be like abducted in a similar way. It also sympathises with the main character who's evil because it's from her perspective, and it also plays on the audience's mind. With editing and stuff, we've got a warm colour theme for the past, and then a cold for the present. And it'll probably be about 148 minutes, because if it was shorter, then the audience will feel a bit ripped off.
Okay.
And the target audience? Okay, right. The target audience for Crimson Requiem is 18 to 36 and typically female, as most crime films tend to focus on a male audience rather than a female one. But with the successes of recent films like Gone Girl and The Girl on the Train, it's important to make crime appeal to a more female audience too. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Is the protagonist or the antagonist, I guess, or protagonist, I presume in this case, the serial killer, is the male or female?
Female.
Female. Okay. So again, breaking with kind of convention there. And there's been lots in the news recently about how so many TV dramas have been accused of kind of fetishising,
Yes.
I think
Yes.
is the word, murder of females. Anyways, there's lots of criticism on that. So for part of your research, you might want to have a look at what some of the criticism around that is,
Sure.
and how your film sort of reacts to that. What are you going to show us in the first 2 minutes? What are we going to see?
First 2 minutes is going to show the serial killer's very first murder, and it shows her with her sort of
It's like a
girlfriend,
flashback.
and it turns out she's just using
Yeah.
it to get to her so that she can brutally murder her, and it flashbacks between their relationship and the actual murder.
But obviously shorter ones, because obviously we've only got 2 minutes. If we had the whole film, it would be obviously a lot more.
Yeah.
And then it finishes on the police arresting the wrong girl.
First 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a kind of quite an action-packed or at least fast-moving opening scene. Grab the audience's attention straight away. Introduce a little bit of an enigma code. Are we going to see the main character? Are we going to know they've arrested the wrong girl?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're letting the audience in on it.
It's like the film starts, but you don't actually understand what's happened really until the end.
Okay. So it's kind of working backwards.
Yeah.
Are there any particular films that have sort of inspired this idea?
Mainly, as I mentioned, sort of Gone Girl, because of course the female murder in that sort of case, and then The Girl on the Train, which is also a really good crime film. Of course, the killer isn't female, but
has those kind of elements
yes,
to it.
those sort of key themes and ideas.
Okay, and another one which I suggest you might want to have a look at is, it's quite an old film now, but possibly about 2003. Okay, and another one which I suggest you might want to have a look at is, it's quite an old film now, but possibly about 2003 or something, one called Memento,
I think I've heard of that.
which is somebody who has kind of lost his memory, and well, I won't spoil it, but basically they tell it all backwards, and they actually get you to sympathise quite a lot with him in terms of what he's trying to do, and they sort of each time they kind of add a little bit extra to the story.
There was a film I was analysing, I can't remember the name of it, but that's where I got the idea to go back or just make the different time frames known. For like different weeks, like 1 week, 2 days, like 24 hours you've got left. Counting down, but I forgot what the name is.
Okay. In terms of, obviously, you spelled out how it's going to kind of look from a visual perspective, like you said, with the use of the warm colours and the sort of like colder colours as well for the present, was it?
Cold present.
Yeah. And obviously, there's a kind of point of view we'll see it from the point of view of the serial killer themselves. What else in terms of the way in which you might use sound? I'm thinking as well in terms of locations where you might film. What have you thought of
We
that?
have a whole thing with sound.
Our sound we're going to have, because obviously the whole art aspect with even the title is red.
Yeah.
So I know it's not sound, but I'm getting to it. So we're going to have hopefully a red record player, and we're going to have like old school like
Jazzy
What are
sort of
the-
music.
And that's
what
going
are
to
the
play
things?
record.
Records, yeah, we're going to have old school records playing in the
Yeah.
background, but obviously they're going to
And
get over the top.
It's gonna be like contrapuntal sound because it's gonna flashback between like the murder and like their whole romance as this sound keeps playing to like show the similarity between those and also extreme differences.
Yes.
And also extreme differences.
Yes.
Good stuff. Okay, so you're going to have a kind of red motif going through it.
That's how we know it's a serial killer.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's
Because
their
leave prints.
thing that they leave at the scene. They're like a calling card, but
Yeah.
for a serial killer. Red.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And again, that's something you might want to play on a little bit with. I think one of the things, I think you'll be able to find something online about it, but the Utopia, the series we did the opening unit on, in that, in the first series, I think it was, everything was yellow. Lots of
Lots,
yellows,
it
yellow
wasn't very
bags, lots of yellow backgrounds, and they use yellows a lot. And then the second series, green, and there's lots of interpretations as to why they use that. So you might have a look into what people said about that, because some of the stuff gets a little bit art house, but there's some interesting interpretations and how you might be able to use those in your own. Good. It sounds like a really good idea. In terms of your target audience, you say 18 to 36. You said you want it appealing to the LGBTQ plus
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Don't ask.
Oh,
Okay.
just of course because there's more.
Yeah.
Okay. In what way?
Well, because
Well,
it's something very close
The main
to like,
characters are LGBT.
yes, like
So
the serial killer.
But she's a murderer.
yes.
yes.
But
The
the
thing
people
is,
she's
there's-
dating are all girls, and when
there's
she kills them.
there's not really that many big films that have two leading characters which are part of LGBTQ. So I think if people want it will be something that people not like aspire to be, but like it will
More
inspire
relatable.
people that it is a normal thing that they can do. Obviously, it's not a normal thing to kill people, but like they're capable of doing things that like
I think what
Straight
Bailey's
people
trying to
can do.
say is that there's a responsibility on modern media to present the fact that heterosexuality isn't the norm, and that we feel like we've got to follow
Yeah.
that.
Get it straight.
Yes.
Is there not a danger with that you could be reinforcing sort of
There is.
age-old stereotypes as the, well, for want of a better word, gay person as the danger, the threat, the warped mind?
I know, but then by also making all the victims
Yeah.
the other way, we're sort of balancing
Yes.
that out
Okay,
in the sense.
but
that,
in the sense making the main characters and their sexuality being almost incidental to it. It's kind of
that would be the same with straight people.
yes,
So would you say that every straight person can kill?
no, no. You're quite right, and that's a very good answer, Bailey. The point I'm making is that historically, and there is plenty of quite, well, we find them quite funny now, but they were quite disturbing at the time. Quite a lot of films where somebody, if we want to know what's wrong with
Yeah.
the killer, well, it's because they're gay.
Yeah.
So therefore,
Yeah.
people
Oh,
such
no,
as
it's
such a
not
predator.
going to be like
No.
that.
Okay,
at all.
fine. No, it's good. It's a good answer. It's a good answer, and you've got clearly 43. Okay, last question. What locations? That was it.
Oh.
Okay.
We are not too. We aren't set on a certain place outside, but I think we're thinking inside at Ellis's house
Okay.
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
main, like, for certain scenes. We're not too sure yet because circumstances.
Okay. How does this serial killer meet her victim?
Online.
Yes. There's a
Yeah.
whole sort
Oh,
of
yeah. We haven't
stalking
spoken about that.
online sort of scene,
Yeah.
which is
You-
quite
yeah,
prominent
like
as
what we
well.
said, like you can see from her point of view. Her point of view is her looking to the computer screen
Mm.
to then flashing forward or backwards, whichever way we're going, to
There's a lot of like that
killer.
super
Imposition.
imposition, like when they're texting.
Okay, fantastic. You might remember, you might not, right at the start of the course we talked about how sometimes TV programmes, films reflect, as they call the zeitgeist, the concerns that people have at the time, the things that are going on. There's been a couple of really big high profile cases involving gay men and particularly sort of dating apps recently where people were kind of tricked and then killed, and you know it's provoked a whole debate around the safety of these particular apps and stuff like that. So you might want to have a look into those
Yeah.
and
That's,
try
yeah.
and try and sort of like say about how, you know, right.
Say it.
Okay, fantastic. I think I've got still got £10 left in the budget, which we can put towards your filming, which will obviously we can lend you cameras and everything else. Is there anything in particular that you think you'll need help with?
Nah, I think
No.
that was-
No. So you've got the skills, you've got the idea.
Yeah. We're all good at different things.
Excellent. Good thing. Good stuff. Good thing.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay. You've got it. Got the deal.
Yes.